Good evening, everybody. My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Today is Thursday, November the 14th, 2024, and welcome back to my Flosstube channel. I believe this is Flosstube number 97. If you're new to my channel, welcome. This is a channel where I talk about all the cross stitch. And if you're returning to my channel, welcome back. Thanks so much for following along with all the madness. Let's go ahead and get into the stitching. I did not work on all the things I said I was going to. But for good reason. So let's go ahead and take a look at my board. There are some that I didn't even touch. Here's my board. So I have temperature stitching over here, Monopoly here, Bake Off here, and weekly pulls and focus pieces down here. And as you can see, there's a lot of blank spaces on here, but that is because I had 3 finishes. I finished 3 projects. 3 finishes in one. Actually, it was 3 finishes in about 24 hours. I finished one project, and then I finished another project on the same night. And then the next night, I finished the 3rd one. I am not always like this. If you are new, I do not normally have many finishes, let alone 3 in 1 week. Don't expect finishes from me very often. But for those who follow me frequently, I know y'all are very excited. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so hang on one second. I didn't plan this out. I'm not prepared as usual. Okay, so let's do the finishes first. And if you noticed, for those who watch frequently, Riding the Wave had nothing next to it. I did not work on my Whip of Shame at all this week. So I still want to try to get 3,000 stitches on it this month. So I'm going to see if I can play catch up. Okay, so the first finish that I'm going to show you is one of my technical stitches from Bake Off. If you're new, I will explain the Bake Off stitching later. It is, I got the idea from Jessie Marie over at Jessie Marie Does Stuff, and I have a main piece that I use for most of my stitches, and then I have 2 pieces that are kind of close to being finished as my technical stitches, and I will explain that later when we talk about plans. I was still working on week 3, I think it was, regarding the main temperature or the main stitching. But the 2 technical pieces, I had done the technical stitches last week, and they were so close to being done that I said, screw it, let me just do them and get them over with. So the first one I'm going to show you is from Pantini, and this is just one more chapter. It's from the And Other Lies series. I don't really need to show you that because I'm going to show you the finish. I just want to show you what the little booklet, pamphlet, whatever thing looks like. But this is from Pantini. And here's my finish. I did 188 stitches. That's all that it took to get this thing finished off. So I did 188 stitches to get to a finish. And I did this on a 28 count printed even weave that I picked up at the craft store. It was like just, see, like the back of it's white. So it's just a printed even weave. There wasn't a color. It was just something pretty, and I got it on clearance. But I used the called for floss, like the called for DMC. Doesn't it look great? And I'm gonna go ahead and point it out. There is a mistake in here. See this right down here? That's too close. So I realized it when I was like filling in the black, not so much the lettering, but the black stitches. This yellow book, the binding right here should be out 1 more stitch, and then this would line up with the edge. But I didn't realize that until after I had done all this and I was already into this, and I said, screw it, I'm just gonna keep it all together. It doesn't bother me. So there's finish number 1. I'm happy. That's one more thing off of my list. So I will put that over there. That frees up my project bag for something else. That's exciting. So we'll put that over there. And then the next finish that I have is somewhere. Here it is. The next one I have is my other technical stitching piece. That was actually my last finish of the week. I finished that on Tuesday. Monday night, this was finish number 2. And this is from Stitch Area on Etsy. This pattern is no longer available. I don't really need to show you the cover photo because it's done. This is Best Friends Quotes. It's the whole thing. I did this with the Call for DMC. It was like 6 or 7 colors on just a roll of 20 count Aida that I had. I'm excited. So this is from the TV show Friends, if you don't recognize the logo, not logo, the name up here. There's Smelly Cat over here. Felt like this took forever. So I did, to finish this one off, I did 54 full crosses in the armadillo, and then the rest of it was back stitching, and it was a total of 147 stitches of back stitching. So to finish it, I had to fill in the armadillo. I had to write the word armadillo down here, and then I had to write the word paw for wapa, and then I just had to finish the name Regina Phalange down here. So that's exciting. I think that my favorite, what's my favorite thing on here? I don't know. There's so many good things. Like this is Smelly Cat up here. It's my favorite song from the show. And this is Rachel's Trifle. And this is a 15 Yemen Street from when Chandler had to go to Yemen. And it says, well, then God, what does it say? It says, well, then I guess I'm going to Yemen. I'm going to Yemen. But yeah, this is probably my favorite line to stitch right here. They don't know that we know they know we know. But yeah, I really loved it. So I'm excited to get this thing done. But yeah. So that was finish number 2. And then the last finish, so there's another project bag that's freed. Another empty project bag. I can stick another new start in there. Oh, somebody, real quick, somebody had left a comment asking how many new starts I had in my bin. It's like over 100. Maybe about 100. I don't know, because I started a lot of stuff this year. But that thing is packed full. So I'd say about 100. The last thing is the Heaven and Earth stitch along that they had this year. I am so relieved to have this mother effing piece done. Okay, so here is my finish. Y'all, like anyone who's been watching me at all this year knows how irritated I was getting with this, because I was just so tired of working on it. But I wanted the free shit that you get. So it's all wrinkled. I don't even care. I'm just glad it's done. So this, I did this 2/1 tent stitch on a 28 count easy count Lugana, and I did a total of 4,019 stitches to get this thing completed. I really did not think that I was going to get this thing done this week. I thought it was going to be next week. But whew, what a relief it was to get this done. Like, seriously. If it was, I don't think I would have finished it if there wasn't a prize at the end of it. So for completing the stitch along this year, you get all the charts that were made available for the SAL, and you also get 2 free charts off of the website. And I wanted the free stuff. So that was my motivation to keep going. Yeah. What a relief. Honestly, it's going to be like, as relieved as I am to have this thing done, it's going to be kind of weird not having to show that every week now and not having to work on it every day. But yeah, I ended up doing 2,787 stitches on Saturday because it was just like, I was like, well, let me just get like 400 in. And then I was like, well, let me just do another couple hundred. And I felt like Forrest Gump. Y'all ever see Forrest Gump? Where he was talking about running. And he was like, you know, I got to the end of the street, decided to keep running. Got to the end of town, decided to keep running. Got to the state line, decided to keep running. That's what I felt like. I was like, oh, I got to the couple hundred, and I was like, let me do another couple hundred. Got to that couple hundred, let me do another couple hundred. So I did 2,787 stitches on Saturday, and then all I had left was like 1,300 stitches, 1,200 stitches, something like that. 1,290 something stitches. And I was like, I used to do that. Like at the beginning of this, I used to do that in a day when that was my goal, was to do 1,200 a week. I was like, I could do that. And I did it on Monday. So I got it done on Monday, and I was texting all my chat groups I'm in on Facebook, and my friend Jamie, hi Jamie, and hello to all of Jamie's Zoom friends. She said that her group of friends watch me together when they're Zooming. Hello. She was like, you need to get that Friends quotes done. So I was like, you know what, you're right. And I just, here you go. Whip that out in like 30 minutes. But yeah, oh, God, what a relief to get that done. So happy. Okay, so let's go over the Monopoly stitching. Okay, so the cat, so I play Monopoly, for anyone new. I play Monopoly, so we'll play around later in the video. And I have 4 tokens. I have the cat, the dog, the thimble, and the car. And wherever they land, I have a project assigned to every property and every special spot on the board. And I have stitch counts assigned to all of them. And so wherever they land, that's how many stitches I put in on it. So if you want to play at home, you can. I'll explain more about that later. But let's go over what I worked on. So the cat went first, and it landed on Community Chest on side 2. And the Community Chest card ended up being for a new start. And so my new start that I pulled out of the bin, that somebody was questioning how many new starts I have, was from a Mill Hill kit. This is from the Buttons and Beads Winter Series, and this is Christmas Village. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. So my new start, I needed to do 200 stitches. And this is going, so I wrote the name of the new start on the card because I have 4 new starts total in the game. And so whenever that card gets pulled again, that particular card, then I will put another 200 stitches on this piece. Let me double check. Oh, yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure I knew which way it was going. So I'm using everything that came in the kit, and I started in the middle, and then I just kind of worked my way around, like out, and I got my 200 stitches in. So that's all cross stitch. That's not the beads. I'm going to save the beading for last, which they say that you're supposed to anyway, but I didn't feel like messing with the beads because they're in bags. I don't want to mess with the beads just yet, not until I'm ready to do all that. But yeah, so I got my 200 stitches on that. And then the dog landed on Ventnor, and all my that's on side 3. I don't know where to put this. Let me just put it down here. Ventnor is on side 3. The thimble owns Ventnor, so the dog had to pay rent. Side 3, purchase price is $300, rent is $150. So I did 150 stitches on Halloween Feather Tree. And this is by Little Robin Designs. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I am using the called for thread except for the white and the black. The black I'm doing 310, and the white I am using, hold on. Where is it? 3865. The called for is, for the white is Weeks Dye Works Grits, but I'm not buying fancy white. So the suggested substitute on there is 3865. And I'm stitching it 2/2, 2 strands of floss over 2 fabric squares on a 32 count, I think, or 28 count. I don't remember now. Do I have it? Hold on, let me check and see if I have a sticker for the, I do not. I think it might be a 28 count because I can stitch on this without a magnifier. 28 count Vintage Stormy Night. So I did not exactly do what I was gonna say, because I said before that I was gonna work on the little feathers coming off of the thing and finish the deals. Well, these guys, I was gonna finish those, and I changed my mind. I finished the feathers that are along the branch right here, and then I decided I wanted to start working down here because this is gonna be a lot. So I brought the stem down, the trunk of this little feather tree thing, and I decided to start working on the stuff that the cauldron is pot, not a cauldron. The pot thing is gonna be down here. So I started working on that. That stuff coming out of the pot, started working on that. So got 150 stitches on that. My hanging thread is like getting caught on stuff and it's annoying me. Back in the bag, there we go. My mom made this bag for me. Isn't it cute? This one, because it's all one piece, that's why. So this side, they're upside, the rainbows and hearts are upside down. This side, they're right side up because it's just one piece of fabric she folded over. Just a cute little project bag with a little pleated ruffle on the top. Super cute. Thanks, Mom. Okay, and then the next piece to go was the thimble. And the thimble landed on Pennsylvania Avenue on side 4. Side 4 purchase price is 400 stitches. Nobody owned Pennsylvania, so the thimble purchased it for 400 stitches. And that was Halloween, or I already said Halloween Feather Tree. Dreaming of Autumn Leaves. Oh, hang on one second. This is my bag I was keeping my sal in. That is now empty. Available for another project. Okay. Pennsylvania is Dreaming of Autumn Leaves by Rosewood Manor. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I am up here in the top. So I don't have all of the threads yet. I went ahead and ordered the rest of them. The night I worked on it, I went on 1, 2, 3 stitch. I went ahead and ordered them. I'm using the called for threads on a, I think this is a 28 count as well, because again, I can work on this without a magnifier, usually 30, but I am doing it over 2. So if it's over 2, I don't usually need a magnifier for 28 or 32. So I honestly do not remember. Do I have a sticker for the fabric? I do. Oh, it is 32. It's a 32 count cream Lugana. I don't know who it's from though. My guess would be Zweigart because of the orange on the selvage. And I got my 400 stitches on it. So all the blank spaces you're seeing here, like, you know, this isn't completed. You know, there's branches that go here. This flower isn't done. That's all because of the colors I don't have yet. So when they arrive, the next time this comes out, I should have the colors by then. And that's when I'll start. I'll probably finish this thread because it'll come down like this one does. And then I'll start working on filling in like probably this top row right here. But yeah, got my 400 stitches in. So I did this stuff here and did this band right down here. But again, there's stuff missing because I need the threads. But they should arrive I think this weekend. It's set between the 15th and the 19th they would be here. So I should have the threads the next time this gets pulled out. If by chance, when I play Monopoly this time, if by chance somebody ends up landing on it and has to pay rent for it, I will most likely wait until my threads show up before I pull this out so that I can work on filling those spaces in. Okay, and then the last one was the car. The car landed on Virginia Avenue on side 2. Side 2, and it paid rent because the thimble owns it already. Side 2 purchase price is 200 stitches, so the rent is 100. And Virginia is Autumn Favorites. I had to think about that. Virginia is Autumn Favorites by Shannon Christine Designs. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I did this. The Stitch With Me has not played yet. I'm going to post that next week. I did 2 Stitch With Me's this past weekend. One of them is already posted. The other one is going to post next week. So you're going to go back in time when the Stitch With Me, if you watch Stitch With Me's, you're going to go back in time because this was what I worked on during the Stitch With Me. But this is where I'm at with it now. So I did, I finished the last few stitches in the S and bonfires, and then I decided to not do the white back stitching this yet. I went ahead and came up here and I started filling in the truck because that truck was really bothering me that it was like so not completed. But yeah, I started filling in that truck. So I'll probably come back up here and finish the truck the next time this comes out. Not finish it, but work on finishing it. But yeah. That's where that is. And I'm doing this with the Call for DMC on a, I think this might be a 14 count. I think this is a 14 count chalkboard Ada. So there's that one. So that was my Monopoly stitching. And then the temperature stitching. This was the one that I worked on during the Stitch With Me that just aired the other day. That I had filmed on the weekend on Sunday, and then I forgot to edit until like Tuesday. But this is Peacock Gnome by Cute Bordery Design. I'm gonna hold it back here because I don't have a cover photo, but that's what it's gonna look like when it's done. And this is assigned to, I believe it's the number 7. Hang on, my notebook is over here. Yeah, so the temperatures, so my temperature stitching, actually, hang on. I'll show that again in a minute. I'm gonna throw myself off when I go to add in photos later. Be like, what am I talking about? So my temperature stitching, I got this idea from Siski over at Siski Stitches. She had whips assigned to each temperature. I kind of took that idea and adapted it for myself. So I have whips, I have 10 whips assigned to the numbers 0 through 9. I look at the upcoming temperatures. That way, if I can knock something out in one day, I go ahead and do that. But I look at the upcoming temperatures for the week, and I take the second number of the temperature, and whatever whip is assigned to that number, I do 100 stitches on it. Stitching Mommy, well, Leanne over at Small Town Stitches, she's going to do that as well. Yay, that's very exciting. And Sarah, Stitching Mommy, she is going to do it as well, but she's going to do 30 minutes instead of 100 stitches. So she actually started doing that, and she seems to like it. So I'm super excited about this. I've been doing it since September, and there are some weeks where I can't get the temperature stitching done. And then there's some weeks where I can just like bam, 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 knock it out real quick. So the temperatures this week, starting with November the 8th through November the 13th, were the high. I take the high of the day, the projected high of the day. The temperatures for this past week were 87, 87, 87, 88, 87, 86. So, Peacock Gnome by Cute Broderie Designs is assigned to the number 7. So that was, if you were counting, that was 4 times that the 7 popped up in the temperature. That means that Peacock Gnome needed 400 stitches. And I am doing this with the Claw 4 DMC, and I'm stitching it on a roll of Charles Craft Aida that I picked up at Joann's. And it's like this printed Aida, so it's white on that side. And it's like this blue-green color. I don't really have a color name for it, but I got my 400 stitches done. So this top part of the peacock feather is almost done. There's like some stuff over here that needs to be completed. But I worked on the feather while I was doing my stitch with me, and then I decided to finish the 400 off in his hat because there's so much blue. So I do believe that if you go on 123 Stitch and search Charles Craft Aida, I believe that this will pop up. It comes in like this blue-green color. It's hard to tell in my lighting, but it's like this blue-green color, and then they also have like a purple-pink, and then like a brown and yellow one. Might be one more. So I have a few projects on those fabrics. Like I said, at Joann's, it didn't really have a name. It was just Charles Craft Aida, and it comes rolled up in this size. This is like a 15 by 18, their standard roll. That's upside down, like that. So yeah, got my 400 stitches. So, and then once these projects get worked on a total of 10 times, then I replace them with something else. And 100 stitches might not sound like a whole lot at once, but it really adds up. Like it really, really does. So that 400 stitches that I did, 1, 2, 3, 4. Peacock Gnome can be worked on 2 more times for the temperatures, and then I'm gonna switch it out for something else. So when I go, because I forgot to look at the upcoming temps, so when I pause the video to like do the Monopoly round, I'll look at the upcoming temps real quick and see if I need to pull a replacement now for Peacock Gnome or if it can wait. And then the 88 is Welcome. And this is a kit from Artiste. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. It says, welcome friends. And that's my thread. I'm just using whatever came in the kit. I will say, I think because of the way I was backstitching before, I did run out of the black thread, but it's just black. So I'm just gonna use what I have, like my 310. But I did run out of the black. So if you do find this kit, I think it's on eBay. I don't know if it's still available. I think I've seen it on eBay. But if you do find this, just be cautious of your back stitching and have some black candy, because I did run out. And that's the first time I've run out of a color. But there's my 100 stitches. So I got all of the cross stitching done in this E here. And I didn't have a whole lot left regarding the actual stitches left to do. So instead of starting to back stitch, I went ahead and just came over here and started cross stitching for the W. So that's exciting. Get you a little bit closer. So since I started doing the temperature stitching, I have completely stitched this E and back stitched it, completely stitched this L and back stitched it. Any back stitches that are missing, there is going to be something that goes there. And then I have cross stitched this E and started cross stitching this W. So that right there, like this E, this L, and this E, and this W, that is all from doing 100 stitches whenever that temperature comes up. That's it. Like, so that doing the temperatures like that, it's a super easy way to get a lot of progress on something, I feel. So I'm really glad that I started doing that. Because before I started doing the temperature stitching, that's all that was there. And then just doing, you know, knocking out 100 stitches here and there whenever that its number gets pulled or called, like whenever its number comes up in the temperature, I got that done, and then I got that done, and then I got that done, and then I got that done. Just from doing 100 stitches every time the temperature comes up. So there's that. I would highly encourage everyone to do temperature stitching. Okay, and then the last temperature that came up was the 86, and that is the Haunted Library Sal from Lola Crow Cross Stitch. This is her Sal from 2022. I am way far behind. That's okay though. This is a very bad printout of what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm still on the prologue. But that's what it's going to look like. And I know that this is going to look really good once it's completed, because this was from 2 years ago. So like everybody and their mother has finished it, except for me. I am doing this on an 18 count Ada in the color Vintage Country Mocha. I believe Zweigart makes this. And hang on one second, got a hanging thread. There is my 100 stitches. So I did the candles up here, and I brought the black down and started filling that in. I did I did a length of black in the staircase right here. So I brought this down and kind of went across, and then I started working on the brown a little bit more. So that space there, that negative space there, there's going to be a ghostly guy that comes up later. Same with this here. Like anywhere there's like negative space, there's going to be something that goes in at a later in a later chapter. So these down here, they were fun to stitch. Little skull deals, and the cat was fun too. So I'm going to this will have. This actually has not really gotten a whole lot of stitching on it yet. The temperature's come up, but there's been quite a few weeks where it's come up, but I haven't been able to work on it. So this will actually have 7 more times to work on it. I've only done a total, counting this 100, I've only done a total of 300 stitches on it so far. And I don't remember if I said Welcome has 1 more time to work on it. Did I say before I did 800 stitches? I did actually have done 900 stitches. I haven't marked off on my list here that this week's temperature stitching that I did. So I think I might have said 800 stitches. It's actually 900. So Welcome has 1 more time before it needs to be replaced. So I will definitely double check the temperatures before I come back to talk about my plans. Okay, the last whip to show you is my regular, I'm gonna insert a photo. No, I need my tablet. Dang it. I left my tablet sitting on the, talk amongst yourselves for just a minute. I need my tablet. So the last project, hello, that I'm going to show you is my, what am I calling it? It's for Great British Bake Off. I got this idea from Jessie Marie over at Jessie Marie Does Stuff. And she had posted a video that she was going to do cross stitching, and her stitching is going to be determined by things that happen in Great British Bake Off. And so she had two different versions, one where you had a whip assigned to each contestant, and then she had one where it was a monogamous one, because she's also doing this with Big Brother. So after she had created the whip to each contestant, she realized, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this and Big Brother at the same time. So then she created a monogamous version. So I took some of her whip to every contestant and some of her monogamous and combined it into my version. So what I do is the monogamous part is you're using one whip, and you have stitch counts assigned to every contestant. And so my stitch counts are 100 through 1200, every 100. So 100, 200, 300, etc. And so I have them randomly assigned to every contestant in the show. And I started with week 1. I'm behind, obviously, because we're now like 6 weeks into the season. And I didn't start this until the third episode, but I went back to the first one and I started from there. God, I'm such a slacker. I need this notebook too. I have notebooks everywhere. Next year, I'm going to try to combine everything into one notebook. I'm a paper person. I like paper. So I was working on week 3. So I have all the stitch counts assigned to each contestant, so 100, 200, 300, etc. If they get a handshake from Paul Hollywood, their assigned stitch count gets put in on my whip. If they get eliminated or if they get Star Baker, those stitches also get put in on this one whip. And then what I was talking about earlier, the two small finishes I had, those are my technical stitches. So I took the part from Jessie Marie's whip for every contestant. For the technical stitches, she had a formula of N times 25 and N times 50. And the N is how many contestants are left in the show. So that number will continue to drop as the season goes on. And what I did was I took 2 pieces that were close to being completed. I thought one more chapter had a lot more stitches than I thought needed. But I took 2 pieces in my pile of whips that are close to completion, and I assigned one of them to even and one of them to odd. And so whoever gets first in technical, if their stitch count is an even one, which is, and I mean even as in the first number, so 200, 400, 600, etc., then the whip assigned to the even one will get N times 50 stitches. So if there's 10 contestants left, it'd be 10 times 50. So that whip gets 500 stitches. And the other close to a finish gets assigned to the odd. So 100, 300, 500, etc. And the person in last place in technical is N times 25. So if there was 10 contestants left, it would be 10 times 25, 250 stitches. So last week I was working on last Flosstube. I guess it was 2 Flosstubes ago. My week 3, I was doing week 3. And my piece that I work on for all the main part is Honeymoon Sunset. And this needed 3,100 stitches total. This is by the The piece is Honeymoon Sunset, charted by Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. It's $8.69 by $6.49. Has 133 colors. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. So I needed 3,100 stitches a couple weeks ago, like two floss tubes ago. I needed to do 3,100 stitches. I didn't get it done, so I had a feeling I wasn't going to get it done. So whatever I was able to do went towards that, and then I carried the remaining over, and it was 1,834 stitches that I needed to do to finish week 3's main stitching between the handshakes and the elimination and the star baker. So Honeymoon Sunset, I am doing that, and I got the 18. I actually did 1,838 stitches, so I got that done. So this coming week I will start working on week 4 stitches. But I'm doing this 2/1/10 stitch on a 25 count easy count Lugana. And I converted this into a diagonal, so there's gonna be stitches all over the place from when I was not doing it on the diagonal. And I'm actually gonna show you 2 pictures because I completed the diagonal. So I got all the diagonal completed here, and I still needed to do a bunch of stitches. I don't remember. Or no, actually, I did that I don't remember now. So if you don't see 2 photos, it's because I actually only needed to work down here. I really don't remember if I finished the diagonal this week or last week. No, I think it was, nope. It was all down in here. My bad, I think. I don't remember anymore. All my stuff is running together. But I know I worked down here. But yeah, and I'll show you the whole thing in a minute. I think my 1838 was all down in here. I think I had started this, I don't know. You'll see it when I do the before photos. I might not show a before photo for that diagonal if I didn't. I really don't recall. But that's my full diagonal, like the whole thing right there, that whole corner. That looks really good. So I did, hang on, let me get behind my chair here. Ooh, now you can see all my fat. There's the whole thing. So I have done a total of 208,996 stitches out of 563,981. And I hit another milestone. I am now at 37.06%. 37.06%. There's my gazebo. Top of my lighthouse right there. There's a sailboat coming in. Tree from hell. Hanging threads I don't care about. Bottom corner. So, what's exciting about this upcoming diagonal is I was looking on the pattern, because I have this set in Pattern Keeper to 20 stitch wide diagonals. And so I'm just working up, and if I run out, like if it runs out, then I just park it in the next diagonal over. And I was like, why is there stitches missing? Because I haven't finished that part. But what's super exciting is that in this diagonal I'm gonna be working on, look at that. You see where this one ends right here? It's gonna go up into the gazebo. So we'll start getting some more definition of the corner of the gazebo. And then also here, we're gonna hit the roof of there's a house right next to the lighthouse. We're gonna hit the roof of the house, like the corner of the house. Hang on one second. Yeah, we're gonna hit the, probably about that much of the roof. And then up here, we're gonna get into because it's gonna be, because these diagonals end up being one full block and then half of the, like half a block, one full block, and then another half of the block. So we're gonna start getting into the lighthouse too. So three fun things that we're gonna be hitting as this diagonal gets completed. So that's exciting. I'm happy. Okay, 37%. Yeah. All right, let's get my boards updated real quick. Here it is. Okay, so I actually only have 2 boards to update. I have my non-full coverage board, and then I have my focus piece board. My non-full coverage, so I have these boards here that I'm doing. I'm gonna change it up a little bit next year, but for right now, I have 20 full coverage, 20 non-full coverage that I'm tracking stitches on. And then I have another board that has like new starts and finishes, but not new starts from Monopoly. Those aren't tracked on the board over there. Oh, you know what? I'll do it after. I was gonna say I need to put my finishes on my board. But anyway, so this is my non-full coverage board, and the reason why I pulled this out, even though I didn't work on the stuff I pulled for last week, is because Autumn Favorites is actually on here. One of my Monopoly pieces, Autumn Favorites is on here. So I got 100 stitches done on it. So this is gonna go up to 300. And so my non-full coverages, I have a goal of 5,000 stitches. I'm gonna update the goals for next year, but we're gonna keep doing this for the rest of the year. And I didn't start doing this until, like more recently. That's why these numbers are still like astronomically high. And why I haven't worked on everything. That's for the new people. The old people already know. So we're gonna take this from 4,800, down to 4,700. So ideally what would happen is once these goals get done is I would replace them with something else, because I have a lot of whips. I have like, so I think my active whips of stuff that I have started is probably in the 200s. I have enough new starts that if I actually started everything, I would have over 300. I guess we'll find out at my end of year whip parade how many actual whips I end up with. Okay, so this is my focus piece board. So I did not work on Yippee-Ki-Yay. That's the focus piece for my son. I actually did not work on my whip of shame this week at all. So I'll talk more about that when I come back from everything with my plans. I'm still gonna work, I'm not putting it up, but I'll talk more about that in a bit. Honeymoon Sunset. My current goal is 45% by the end of next year. To do that, when I created this goal, I needed like 59,000 and change to complete that goal by the end of next year. I'm gonna up this, but I'm gonna wait to do that until like December, like my end of year whip parade. I think I'm gonna up it to 50%. But right now my goal is 45% by the end of 2025. To do that, I need that many stitches, 46,633. However, I did 1838 on it, so this is going to increase from 12,593 to 14,431. I know my handwriting's a mess. I'm writing from the side, my bad. So the total stitches remaining to reach my goal is dropping from 46,633 down to 44,795. And then Merry Mushroom Village, that's my stitch along from Heaven and Earth Designs. My goal was to finish it by the end of 2024. I needed 4,019 stitches to do it. I did 4,019 stitches. Done, bitches. So happy that thing is done. Okay. So what I will do now is oh, nope, hold on. Before I break for Monopoly, it's halfway through the month. So anyone who watches me regularly, do you remember what halfway through the month means? I'm going to draw 2 contenders for next month's Whip of Shame. So I'm going to keep what I drew last week since I didn't get to work on it. I'm going to go ahead and keep that stuff out. But I have my little papers here. If I pull one that I have very recently worked on regarding Whip of Shame, then we're going to set it aside. We'll pick something else. But I have 15 pieces that are over anyone who is new, because I keep getting new subscribers. So anybody who is new, I have 15 whips that are over 10 years old. Some of them date back to the early 2000s, late 90s. And so I started this year doing a Whip of Shame, where I take one of these old whips and I work on it for 100 stitches a day for that month. First one up, I let you guys vote on which one gets worked on. First one up is Magnificent Wizard. The other one, let me look at you so you know I'm not cheating. Okay, the other, whoopsies. The other one is 3 Bird Watchers. So I'm going to take a break. Not take a break. I'm going to stop this. We're going to play a round of Monopoly, and then when I come back, we're going to talk about all the plants, and I'll show you both of those whips that you guys can vote on for the rest of the month on which one I work on in December. I feel like I know which one's going to win already. I feel it in my heart of hearts. Okay, be right back. All right, let's play a round of Monopoly. So this is going to be round number 9. Real quick before I get started, if you want to play along at home, I currently have a whip assigned to every property and every corner, except for the go to jail, because you go to jail. So I currently have a whip assigned to every single property. You do not need to do that. If you don't have that many whips, that is okay. You can still play along at home. You can have one, you can pick one of these 4 tokens, and you can just do the stitch count that token ends up having to do on your whip. You can have, I know some people have commented telling me that they have one project for each side of the board, sides 1, 2, 3, or 4. They have, some people will have projects assigned to the colors of the property. So like one person, they have a project assigned to an orange property, one project assigned to the red properties, etc., etc. So you can adapt it how you wish. If you are on Instagram, I don't post on Instagram, but I do go on there and look at stuff. So you can tag me on Instagram. People have been tagging me with Jen's Monopoly Sal, and I am Jen the Caffeinated Crafter _ between all of the words, and you can tag me on there. Show me what you're working on. Okay, so, and then these cute little dice were cross-stitched for me by my friend Andrew, the runner stitcher. I really like them. So let's go ahead and play around. So I have all of my pieces in their assigned location, so I'll have to slide this board around as we move around the board because I can't get my camera high enough to show the entire thing. All right, so the cat, ooh, snake eyes. Cat's over here. 1, 2, New York Avenue. And I do not, I say this every flippin' week. Yep, Thimble owns New York Avenue, so it's going to pay rent. Yeah, the Thimble owns New York Avenue, so it's going to pay rent, so that's going to be half of the purchase price. And it rolled double, so we're going to roll again. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Waterworks. I do not think anybody owns Waterworks. I keep saying this every week. Oh, I need to make that list out. All I need to do, like I have all my stupid whips listed out. I just need to write down who owns it. That's all I have to do. And do I keep forgetting to do that? Yeah, I keep forgetting. But nobody owns it. Yeah, no, Electric Avenue is owned. So the cat is going to purchase it, and I'm going to adjust my stitch counts next year. But for right now, Waterworks is on side 3, so it's going to buy it for 300 stitches. Okay, next up is the dog, which is on Ventnor. 6. I think the dog got tired of being in jail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Community chest. What is this one? I shuffled the cards, so we might end up with a card that I've already used. Yep. Buy a few cookies from the bake sale. New start for 200, but I have already drawn this one, so I will be doing 200 stitches on that new start there. Give me 1 second. Let me write this down. Okay, and next up is the thimble, which is over here. So I'm going to slide this. 1 second. Doubles, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Luxury tax down here at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is, what did I say I was going to do? I think I was going to do 200 stitches. Was that the stitch count I said? On my free parking piece. I believe it was 2. Because I adjusted it. It was just a few rounds ago. So I believe it was 200 stitches on my free parking piece. Okay. Let me think here. I always forget how I have this camera positioned. I think I'm gonna have to, all right, we gotta move a little bit here, guys. Hang on. See if I can do this without shaking y'all too bad. There we go. Okay, that'll work. All right, so thimble rolled double, so we're gonna go again. Stabilize that, there we go. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Baltic. And where's my pen? There it is. So we passed go. I have a piece assigned to go. So we're gonna do 200 stitches on go. And then it landed on Baltic, and I believe that Baltic has been purchased. Pretty sure. Yep. Oh, the thimble actually owns Baltic. So I think that what I'm going to do, because I didn't really decide what to do if a piece lands on something it already owns. I think with everything else I have going on, at least for right now, I'm going to give it a break since it already owns it. And I'm not going to do stitches on my Baltic Avenue piece because the thimble owns that property. So yeah, we will not do stitches on that Baltic piece, but I will still put in the description box because I'm going to have all this stuff in the description box for those who are playing along at home. I'm going to go ahead and put what the stitch count would have been had the thimble landed on it and it didn't own it already. In case you wanted to go ahead and do those stitches. But with everything else I have going on and the fact that 2 of these pieces have rolled doubles, I'm going to go ahead and not do the stitches on Baltic since the thimble owns it already. All right, so we're gonna slide over here, put the card back on Virginia because it got moved when I was sliding the board around. Move this up so you can actually see. There we go. That way, if it rolls a high number, you can see everything. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, free parking. So I'm adjusting this a little bit. Since the car landed on free parking, I am going to do 400 stitches on the free parking spot. Let me write these numbers down. That way I can reference back to them. I'm going to do 400 stitches on the free parking spot. I'm kind of adjusting these rules as I go. I didn't really have a plan for that in the beginning. I'm making some adjustments. So we're going to do 400 stitches on the free parking spot. So there is the Monopoly round. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to pull everything out that I need to work on this coming week, and I will be back to show you what my plans are. All right. Okay, I'm back. All right, so before we get started with everything, somebody, Yoshi, I believe, had mentioned that I better update my board, my project board, with my finishes, because it's been a bit since I've had finishes. I still have my boards, my big project boards from earlier this year. I still have it, so we're gonna update this thing real quick. So for anyone on the newer side that has not watched my whip parade from the end of last year, I would suggest going to watch it. It is very long. It's like 5 parts. It's a lot of parts, and they're all like almost 2 hours or over 2 hours each. It's like 10 hours of me yammering on about all of my whips and all the new starts that I was planning on doing. And in the whip parade, I kept calling out things that, oh, I could finish this, I could finish this, I could finish this. Realistically, yeah, I could totally finish the things that I said I was going to finish if I didn't have so many projects to work on. So, this board here was my, this over here, we can actually, let's go ahead real quick. So this board, this side of the board over here, I made this at the beginning of the year when my original goal for Honeymoon Sunset was to do 25K in 25 weeks. And let's go ahead and finish this off, because I finished that goal back in July. It was supposed to be June, but I moved, life happened, all that jazz. But I got the 25K done. And then I said, well, let's keep it out. Let's see if I can get this thing to 45% by the end of next year. So that's what my current goal is. So that one is done. My Haid Sal, I wanted to do 1,200 per week to have it done by the last week of the year. I adjusted how I was stitching it, and whoopsies. Oh no, I think this marker's starting to go. Either that or it just doesn't want to color all that. My goal's done. I got that project done. Woohoo! Okay, so the rest of this board over here, that's how many finishes I said I wanted to do. 135 projects I said I was going to finish. But I was like, let's be a little bit more realistic. Let's see, because I finished 15 pieces last year. So this year I was like, well, let's be a little bit more realistic. Let's see if I can finish 20. Well, I finished 2 more. So that brought me up to 10 finishes for the year so far. Well, actually, let's go ahead, because the Haid Sal is done. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So I have 11 finishes now this year. Do I think I'm going to get 9 more finishes by the end of next month? No, I don't. So we'll see how many I actually end up with this year. But considering everything that I've been doing, that's not too shabby. So this is the thing. These are the whips that I've finished so far this year. I think my last finish was over the summer. So it's been a few months. So finish number 9, we'll say best friends quotes. Finish number 10, Just one more chapter. Finish number 11. Mary Mushroom. Hate Sal. So at least if that's the last finish I have, we're ending on a high, because that thing was 61,500. I didn't even say that when I showed it. That piece was 61,500 stitches. So that's exciting. Okay, so I got that done. All right, before I show you what I'm gonna hopefully work on this week, let's go over the Whip of Shame. So I drew 2 contenders for the Whip of Shame. We're gonna go over both of them, and you guys can vote on which one you want me to work on in the month of December. So the first one is one that I have worked on already for the Whip of Shame. I worked on this one a few months ago. It is a Dimensions Gold Collection, Magnificent Wizard. That is what it's gonna look like when it's done. I got this back in like 2002, and I'm using whatever came in the kit. It is an 18 count black Aida. And this will be my starting point. So there's that one. If this one is the winner, I will probably, because I have a working copy of the pattern, but I've only copied part of it, and it's this part here. So if this one is the winner, I will probably continue on in this area up here to get the page that I made a copy of, to get that page completed. So if this is the winner, I will probably continue in this section up here. I was hoping one of the cats would show up. Gracie, Lou, come here, baby girl. Gracie, come here. They didn't show up in my last Flosstube. Her nor Mr. Whiskers. Okay, and then the other Whip of Shame contender for the month of December is another Dimensions kit. Gracie's coming. Come here. Gotcha. God, she's so squirmy. That's Gracie. Say hi, Gracie Lou. She's so talkative. She always sounds like she's being murdered. Oh, I see the boy coming. Say hello, Gracie. Here's one of my kitties. Oh, here's the other one. Oh, Mr. Whiskers. Hello, my boy. Oh, hi, baby. He's my baby. He's my favorite. He is 10. Gracie, I'm not sure how old she is. Mr. Whiskers is 10. Say hello, Mr. Whiskers. Hi, baby. He always looks mad. He's not. I know you guys, regular viewers, enjoy cameos from the cats. Okay, speaking of cats, the other Whip of Shame contender is another Dimensions kit. This is 3 Bird Watchers by Martha Edwards. I don't think I said who designed the other one. I don't remember. But this is 3 Bird Watchers, so it's 3 kitties looking in the window at these birds on a ledge. There's snow, holly berries, all that. I got, this is on an 18 count ivory Aida, and it says, back then I usually bought these kits like not long after they were released. So I'm thinking that I purchased this in 1997. So this project is from the 1900s. And This is a piece, I have worked on it this year. Well, obviously I worked on both of them this year. But I do have this in my basket of whips that I can pull from. So this has gotten some work on it. This is my starting point with it. So I do not have any back stitching done on it. And if this one is the winner, I believe I have a working copy of this pattern as well. Yep. So I will likely kind of work kind of in this section here to work on getting this side. Like I'll probably work on this part right here and then kind of come down here and start working on that bottom part. That's likely what I would do. So if you want to see me work on Magnificent Wizard for the month of December, you can call it however you want. You can say Wizard, you can say Dragon, you can call it by its full name of Magnificent Wizard. If you want to see 3 bird watchers, you could say the kitties, you could say 3 bird watchers, you could say cats in the window. I don't care. I know which one you're talking about when you say that. So you can call it whatever you want. I will be able to figure out which one you're voting for, but you can leave your vote in the comment section down below. A few people have asked me about doing a poll so that you could vote that way. I don't mind reading the comments. I actually find it kind of fun because instead of getting an instant read on the votes, I kind of wait a few days and then I scroll through the comments and I tally it up by hand. And I heart every comment that votes. So I don't heart the comment until I count the vote, and I kind of like watching it, then battle it out that way. So again, these are the 2 pieces. They are both dimensions kits. God, now I got cat hair on my face. So let's compare them. They are both dimensions kits. Don Mates is the one who did this one. One is fancy, one is a regular kit. This one is kind of a fantasy piece. This one is more of like a classic old schooly piece in my opinion. They both have animals of some sort because this one has a dragon and this one has cats and birds. But yeah, so these are the 2 pieces. This one is on black fabric. This one is on ivory fabric. They're both Aida. I am fine with whichever way the votes go. I will say this one has already been worked on for the Whip of Shame, if that is something that you consider, because I did notice that some people, because this would not be the first time that a previous Whip of Shame is in the running to be another Whip of Shame. So I have noticed that some people have said, well, since you've already worked on this one, the other one needs to be worked on. So, Magnificent Wizard has already been worked on as a Whip of Shame for a month, if that is a deciding factor for your vote. So again, one more time, the pieces. This is my starting point for 3 bird watchers. This is my starting point for Magnificent Wizard. So let me know in the comment section down below which one you would like to see me work on for 100 stitches a day in the month of December. And and you have until the end of the month. So the next Flosstube I will show these again and just remind anyone who either missed this week's or were still thinking about it. I'll remind you again of what they look like. And you have until the end of the month. The last, not next Flosstube, but the one after is going to be like, I want to say maybe the 29th of November, I believe. It's going to be right at the end of the month. So on that Flosstube, I will let you know who the winner is for the Whip of Shame. Gracie is like going ham on the rug out in the hallway. Now she's in the bathtub. I don't know what she's doing. Okay, let's go over what I'm going to work on for this coming week. Fingers crossed. Okay, let's talk about Bake Off. Bake Off. I have completed the 3rd episode's stitching, so I'm moving on to week number 4. Week number 4. No handshakes. Between the eliminated player and the star baker, the eliminated player had 400 stitches assigned to him. I'm trying not to give too many spoilers. Sorry. And the star baker has 1,000 stitches assigned to them. Let's just call everybody them. So the eliminated player had 400 stitches assigned to them, and the star baker had 1,000 stitches assigned to them. So Honeymoon Sunset will get 1,400 stitches. That's pretty doable. So I think that I might be able to get, because when I do my stitching, when I decide what I'm going to work on, I try to focus on Monopoly first, Bake Off stitching to try to get that completed. My temperature stitching is after that, and then my focus, like my weekly pulls and stuff like that, are after that. So 1,400 stitches for Honeymoon Sunset. So ideally, I'll continue in that diagonal. What I'm hoping is, because I'm working up from the bottom. So 1,400 stitches. I always underestimate how many stitches I can, like, this stuff travels up. But I'll continue to like kind of fill in going up this way on the diagonal. So I'm hoping that I can maybe try to get up to here so that we can actually see part of that gazebo starting to fill in. That would be exciting. So we'll see. So the highest stitch count, just a quick update on these stitch counts, because like I said, I have a range of 100 to 1,200 stitches assigned to these contestants in the show. And the ones that have the highest, so the contestants that have 1,000, 1,100, and 1,200 stitches, they are all still in the running. So the person who got first in technical had an even stitch count, and the person who was last in technical also had an even stitch count. Last in technical had 600 stitches assigned to them. First in technical had 1,000 stitches assigned to them. So that's n times, and there was 9 contestants in week 4 in the technical bake. So it's 9 times 25 and 9 times 50 for, and since it's all on one piece, that piece is going to get 675 stitches. Before I paid attention to that, I replaced both of my technical stitches. I did change it. I showed you guys last week what I was going to work on, and I did change it. I changed my mind. So the one that I ended up assigning to the even stitch count, so this is, let me show you the odd one first, because that one's not going to get worked on this week anyway. So the one I ended up assigning to the odd stitch count is Bake the World a Better Place by Franny Ritter Designs. And when this does get worked on, this will be my starting point. So I have 2 more cupcakes, a few more hearts, the words, the beads, a little bit of back stitching. And I do have the beads. I gotta find them and put them in here. I think they're in my little cart right here. So that's my odd technical. My even one, I honestly don't remember which one I said. I know I said I was gonna do a Calendar Girls from Little House Needleworks. I don't remember which one I said, but this is the one I'm going to do. Calendar Girls April. This is from Little House Needleworks from 2014, I believe. And that is my starting point with it. So all I have left to do is I need to finish her skirt and her feet. I need to do her hand and her head. Oh wait, no, actually I gotta finish this too. So I'm not as far along as I thought I was for some reason. Sorry. But I mean, it's really, this goes pretty quick. Oh my God, I'm choking on air. So I'll do 670. So this is the one that I will work on for technical stitches this week. And this is even, and since both of the players, I gotta pause for a second, hang on. Okay, I think I'm done dying. Maybe. I had a coughing fit. My throat was dry from all the talking. So since both of the players, the first place and the last place in the technical were an even stitch count, all of my technical stitches this week will go on to Calendar Girls. And so I'm hoping that will put it even like pretty close to a finish. We'll see where it ends up. I have 2 of these things done already. I completed June and August. Okay, next up. So we got, all right, so we got that one done. Next up, let's talk about temperature stitching. So the temperatures are starting from today through next Thursday. So Thursday to Thursday, because today is Thursday. And then I film again next Friday. So the temperatures for this coming week are, starting with today, another hot week, 84, this is the high, projected high, 84 degrees. This is all in Fahrenheit because I'm in America. 84 degrees, 82 degrees, 80, 82, 81, 82, 79, 78. So it's starting to drop down, thank God. So 84, 82, 80, 82, 81, 82, 79, 78. So number 2 is going to get a lot. All right, so the one for the 80 is Twisted Band Sampler. Out of all the ones that I work on, I'm going to make this one the priority. Like if I'm limited with what I can stitch on this week, this one will be my priority to work on because this has come up a few times and I have not worked on it. This is from Northern Expressions. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I started up at the top. I'm working band by band. And I'm doing it with the DMC conversion. This is the regular cross stitch version. They have this in they have this in specialty stitch and they have this in regular cross stitch. So I have the cross stitch version and it also calls for MPIs, I think. And then they have a DMC conversion. So I'm doing it regular cross stitch with the DMC conversion. And I'm doing it on a 28 count white Monaco, and this is my starting point. And I keep showing this and I'm like, all I gotta do to finish this band is this little itty bitty corner and then I can start on the next band. And I keep not working on it because other stuff comes up. But this will be the first temperature stitch that I do so that I can get this 100 stitches. This poor piece, and I love it so much. It's not like I'm not working on it because I don't like it. I do like it, but I just, shit happens. Shit happens. So that will get worked on for 100 stitches, And then the next one is the one assigned to the number 1. 81 comes up one time this week. So that is from Shannon Christine Designs, and this is Cup of Cheer. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. Super cute. And so this one will get 100 stitches, and this is my starting point with it. Actually, I don't even need to open it up all the way because that's my starting point right there. That's all the stitches I've done on it. So this 100 stitches, I might change my mind because I have done that before, but I will most likely continue. I started doing the white on the C here. I will probably continue the white on the C and then finish the U. And this is in the word cup. That's what I will most likely work on, is the word cup, getting that section completed. But again, I might change my mind because this cup here is pretty much done. There's a couple things I have left to do on that gingerbread man. But for the most part, that cup is done. So I could change my mind. I could come over here and work on this cup, or I could come over here and work on that blue cup, because that blue cup is really pretty. I like the blue. So well, it'll be a surprise. It'll be a surprise to all of us, me included, because I don't know where I'm going to work on it. So that will get 100 stitches. Next up is the one assigned to the number 2. That one, 82, came up 3 times. And this one, I am excited to work on this. Poltergeist Pirates by Glendon Place. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm using called for fabric, called for floss. Doing this on a 28 count casual linen in the color Bang by Crosswing Collection. This is the floss that they dyed for this piece. That's my starting point. And I do know where I'm going to work on this. I'm going to work on Mr. Bones up here. So I will finish his hat. I'm going to finish his little skeleton wing, and this will get 300 stitches. So I'm not entirely, I got to finish his feet too. Not entirely sure how far that's 300 stitches will get me regarding the cross stitching, because I got to finish his face as well. Where is he? There he is. But I'm going to work on completing him, and then once he's done with the cross stitching, I'm going to start on his back stitching, because it is actually recommended in the pattern to back stitch as you go and not leave it. So I will work on him, and if I still have stitches remaining after I get done with his cross stitching, then I will work on his back stitching. Okay, then the next one that came up was 84 came up once, and that is one of my Mill Hill kits. And this is Espresso. Make sure I show you the right direction. This is the Buttons and Beads Autumn Series, Espresso. So this will get another 100 stitches. I'll show it to you like that so you can see it better. And I think I have a thread hanging here, so I might put the 100 stitches maybe in this little area right here. I'm not really sure yet. I'll probably at least at minimum finish that thread, but I might come up here and see if I can work on some of the top up there. I don't know. It'll be a surprise where I put the 100 in. And again, I'm saving the beading for last because this is how the beads come. So once I'm ready for the beading, I think what I might do, I'll probably change my mind, but I think what I might do is because I have 3 Mill Hill kits now started. I have another few waiting to be started. I've not started them yet, but I have 3 that I can think of off the top of my head that I have started. I think I have 3 more that I need to start. But I think that once a Mill Hill kit is ready to be beaded, I will probably keep it out all the time so that I can take one of these what I might do is, like, once this is ready to be beaded, I'll keep it out so I can work on it, right? But the idea is that I can get, I gotta find it. I do have a tray that has like the little insert in it so that the beads don't like everywhere. And so what I would do is I would take like this bag right here. I would figure out, because it's very clearly marked in the instructions, like which beads are in which bag. They are marked on the pattern, like in the legend, like this. Hang on. I'm dropping stuff. Hang on. I'm trying to explain to you what I'm talking about. Hang on 1 second. So in the legend here, these are all the beads, right? So these beads, so the beads that have the star, the asterisk next to them, those are all in one bag. Actually, I think that might be this one right here. That might be this one here, because those are cream, root beer, and maple. And then so I have 3, no, actually, maybe it's these ones. I don't know. This seems more like cream, root beer, and maple. And then the other ones have a little plus sign next to them. And those ones are dark plum, royal pearl, and petite matte pumpkin. Dark plum, royal pearl, petite matte pumpkin. That might be these ones maybe. I think it's hard for you guys to see in your light, in the light that I have right now. I need to get better lighting. I keep saying that. And then I believe this is the 3rd bag. Has Mardi Gras red, petite ice, petite matte chocolate. That might be the, I have to look at these. Yeah, I believe that's this one here. So anyway, I would take one bag, divide the beads up, and work on those beads, and then take the next bag and divide those up and work on those beads. So that's what I was saying. I think I might just keep that particular Mill Hill kit out until the beading is completed. And then if I have another one that is ready to be beaded before this one's done, I will just have it waiting in the wings. And then once one is done, I will pull out the next one. Okay. So that was number 4. And then the next one that came up for temperature stitching is number 8. 78 came up once, and that is welcome. I showed that to you when I was doing my temperature stitching earlier. So just a quick reminder, that's this one here. I'm going to continue on, I believe, with the cross stitching of the W. I'll go ahead and work on that. The rolling pin with the wooden mixing spoons. So I will keep working on the cross stitching in the W. So it'll be, and that will actually be, this will be the final time that this one gets worked on for my temperature stitching. So next week, so next week, so my 2 prior, and then, oh wait, hold on real quick. And then number 9 is Spanish Sampler. That was 79 degrees. And this one is out of, I gotta find, what did I do with my book? Oh, it's behind my board. Spanish Sampler, it's out of 101 Best Loved Designs by Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm doing this 2/2 with the called for floss on a 28 count white casual linen that I had on hand. I have a couple threads hanging. Let me try to get those out of the way. Okay, so I finished this square over here. So this is like the top center band. And so I will keep working on this and work on completing this band before I move on to another area. And I will also work on getting the top 2 borders, this cross stitch border, and then this is a 4-sided square stitch that goes across the very edge. So I'll work on that as well. But I think what I might do to get my 100 stitches on this, I think what I might do is I'm going to work on, this is all the green right here. This is also a 4-sided square stitch. And I will probably work on bringing this across and work on the green 4-sided square stitch. That way I can just keep everything the same regarding the type of stitching I'm doing. And I'll just work on those 2 colors. And because this green, as you can see, how much that's filled in with the green 4-sided square stitch, and that goes all the way across. So I'll work on bringing that very top border across and then that green fill-in part for the 100. Okay, so what I was saying is welcome. So my priorities for the temperature stitching are going to be twisted band sampler, because that one keeps coming up and I keep putting it off. And then welcome, because welcome, that is going to be the final 100 to hit my 1,000 stitch goal. So that's why I was saying earlier that I work on these pieces 10 times, because once I hit 1,000 stitches, I'm gonna replace it with something else. So next week, I will show you what the replacement will be for welcome. Okay, Monopoly. So that one's done. Monopoly. The car landed on New York Avenue, which is already owned. And New York Avenue is my Harry Potter Stitch Your Own Adventure. I have 3 versions of this going. This is from Cunning Cross Stitch. I have a mock-up of the parchment outlines. It's a Stitch Your Own Adventure, so every chapter, that's what all these parchments are. They're different chapters. Every chapter is going to be different. So I have 3 of them going, one for myself, one for both of my kids. So this is my older son's version. Nope, that one's mine. So New York Avenue is my older son's Stitch Your Own Adventure. And here it is. And this is my starting point with it. This pattern is no longer available. Stuart took it down when he started the new Stitch Your Own Adventure, which is Middle Earth themed. But this is my starting point. I think I will probably, because this one, so the car is going, or the cat is going to be paying rent, which will be just 100 stitches. So I will probably keep working in parchment number 5 in chapter 5 and work on getting this cauldron down here done. And I think what I might do is once that is completed, I will read you the letter, because you're a student at Hogwarts and you're writing letters home to your parents. I don't want to read the letter every time I work on it. So I think what I might do is once the letter is complete, I will read you the letter and go over the hyperlinks, because it's basically like you read the letter that you're writing to your parents, and then at the end of the letter, you have to make choices. And there's hyperlinks at the bottom of the letter if you're on the computer. You click on your choice and it zips you down to where you are doing your stitching. Like what your adventure is going to be for that chapter. So when I work on it, I'll work on it, do the 100 stitches this week. And then when I show it next week, I will briefly go over what my son's chapter is kind of about, and what some of the stuff is about. But I'm not going to read the letter until the chapter is actually completed. So that was New York Avenue, and the cat had rolled doubles, so it rolled again, and it landed on Waterworks. Waterworks, you think I would have checked this, double checked myself before. No, electric company was purchased. Waterworks has not been purchased yet. Okay, so the cat is purchasing Waterworks. Waterworks is on side 3. So the purchase price is going to be 300 stitches. And that is going to be, I'm very excited. I love this piece so much. That is going to be, it's a Marshmallow World by Sugar Stitches Designs. I'm excited. I really, really love this piece. And I'm stitching it on like a 16 count, I think. Ada in the color, is this Dirty? Or Milk Chocolate? That's my starting point with it. It's so cute, and the colors really pop off of this fabric here. I feel, oh wait, do I have the fabric? I do, Milk Chocolate. So this is a 16 count Milk Chocolate Ada, and that's my starting point. So the cat is going to purchase this for 300 stitches. Where am I going to work on? I don't know yet, but I really enjoy this piece a lot. So I'm excited. I'm happy the cat landed on Waterworks. Okay, so then the dog landed on Community Chest on side 4. And I had shuffled the cards, and I ended up picking a card that I've picked previously, which ended up being a new start when it got picked originally. And so what I did was, as you saw, I wrote down the name of the new start. Oh, there's Gracie. Hi, Gracie. I wrote the name of the new start on that card. And this is it. I don't speak French, so it's a hen in English. From Artiste. It's a kit from Artiste. And it's from a Cooler Design Studio. I was trying to see if there was like a name on here. Like a designer's name. But no, it's just Cooler Design Studio. So that's what it's going to look like. So this has already received 200 stitches from when I originally did the stitching. Oh, here it is. And I did an upper left-hand corner start, so that is my starting point with it. There is a lot of black stitching on this. There is a lot of black. Like, this is a full coverage kit. So I think what I might do, because this is another 200, I'll finish this thread in that kind of goldy color, and then I got to double check on if I'm already at the bottom or not. That might be the bottom, because my black thread ended right there at that bottom square. So I got to double check and see how much further down I need to go. But what I might do is I'll finish that gold thread, and then I might see if I can work my way down to the bottom here, or work my way across to get to one of these borders as well, and start trying to work on the black in those borders, because like that top band right there, that's solid black stitching, and then all the little design on it is all back stitching. So that's a lot of black. So like, here's this is all the black floss for that project. All that right there. That's all the black. That's a lot of black. So I might try to work my way either across or down to get to one of those borders on the other edges, so that I can maybe try to like work a strand of the black, work a strand of color, work a strand of black. So I'm not like, 310, Okay. So that was the dog. Then the cat, and it's funny. So I was like kind of in the game. I was like, when I was filming the game, that round, I was like, oh, I don't remember what I said. I actually marked it on my list of stitch counts. I was correct. So the dog rolled doubles and landed on luxury tax. And I was like, oh, I don't remember what I said. So I was like, I think I'm going to go ahead and do 200 stitches on my free parking piece. And that's what I wrote. I had written down 100 from income tax, 200 from luxury tax. So my free parking piece is one of my stockings, and it is the Falling Snow by Alan Guiana, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. So I got to combine 2 tokens in this one real quick, because the car landed, or the thimble landed on luxury tax. The car landed on free parking. And I had actually written this down too. If you land on free parking, that piece will get 400 stitches. So I will need to do a total of 600 stitches on my free parking piece, which is that Falling Snow. And this is that's the whole thing that I have done so far. This, I'm going to be working up here in the corner, in the right hand corner, because I'm going to convert it into a diagonal. So I will do 600 stitches. My diagonal is like right here, right there so far. So I'm going to work on getting this thing converted into a diagonal. So my 600 stitches will be up in that upper right hand corner. So when you guys see this next week, my picture will most likely, I'm going to do a full on picture, but the picture I'm going to show you next week, my before picture, will be of this corner up here. Unless I change my mind, but no, I probably won't. And okay, so the thimble had rolled doubles, landed on luxury tax, so it rolled again. It passed go and landed on Baltic. The thimble owns Baltic. With everything else I had going on, I decided not to do the stitches due on Baltic. But I'll go ahead and let you know what they are in a minute. But passing go, I'm going to be working on my other stocking, which is the Enchanted Christmas Reindeer by Donna Gelsinger, also charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And that is what that one is going to look like. And when you pass go, when I pass go, I do 200 stitches on that. If I land on go, I do 400. But if I pass go, I do 200 stitches. And so this one will get another 200, and I also converted this into a diagonal, but this is my starting point. Well, this is the whole thing that I have done so far. And my 200 stitches will work on finishing this diagonal right here, and then whatever is left over will go into the next diagonal. This one is also 2 over 1/10 stitch. Same as the first one. I don't think I said that before. So like I said, I'm not going to do stitches on the Baltic piece because the thimble owns it and I have a lot of shit going on already. But if you were to do stitches on it, it is a brown property on side 1 that is already owned. It's owned by the piece that landed on it. So rent is half of, so it's only 50 stitches. Rent is half of the purchase price. It's only 50 stitches. I may or may not do it. We'll see. I believe Baltic might be Spa Gnome. I might go ahead and do it. It's only 50 stitches. Yeah, it's Spa Gnome. I don't have it out because I wasn't planning on working on it. I might go ahead and throw the 50 stitches in because I mean, I stitch really fast. It's a super easy stitch. Like it's a super, super easy piece to work on. I might go ahead and do it. So if you opt to do that, it'll be 50 stitches for Baltic. I'll probably go ahead and do it. So I'll show you guys next week because I don't have it out. Okay, and then real quick, the other stuff that I'm going to be working on, my whip of shame, my current whip of shame is riding the wave. I did not work on it at all this week because I was so busy trying to knock out these finishes. But this piece right here, so I think I can catch, I should be able to catch back up if I just bump it up. Now that I don't have to worry about the hate sal, if I just bump it up this week and do 200 stitches a day, I will be able to, so this will be my starting point. If I bump it up and do 200 stitches a day, that will make up for the fact that I did not work on it at all last week, and I'll catch right back up. So my goal this month is 3,000 stitches. I have 2271 stitches left to complete my goal. So if I can do, yeah, I should be good. Today's the 14th. I should be all right. Okay. So riding the wave, I'm gonna try to do 200 stitches a day to catch back up for not working on it last week. And then the next one is one of my focus pieces I'm keeping out until it's completed, and that is for my son. This is from Stitchman Darcy. I'm just going to show you the cover photo here. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Quote from Die Hard. My son actually saw Stitchman Darcy work on this on his Flosstube, and he saw it and he loved it, and he's like, Mom, can you get that for me? So I said, sure, why not? So he's very excited about this. This is my starting point. I think what I might do is on this, if working on it this week, all my hopes and dreams, I'll probably do what I said I was going to do last time, and I'm going to work on the back stitching because I need to back stitch the little red and green border here. I need to back stitch these triangles here, starting from this one right here, and come up and go across and back stitch these, and then back stitching the ones down at the, these are all back stitched already. Backstitch starting here, these triangles that are completed over here. I need to backstitch these 3 letters here, and this one can be completed with the backstitching as well. So I think I will work, I think this might be a backstitching week for this piece, and try to get as much, I'm trying to not save all the backstitching for the end on this. So I think that might be what I end up doing. I want to say, I'm going to look real quick at what my, I feel like I'm over 50% done with the cross stitching on this. Here it is. Yeah, I'm like 57.77% done with the cross stitching on this. And I don't want to save it all for, I don't want to save all the back stitching for the end. So I'm trying to do some back cross stitching and then go back and back stitch everything as I go. Then the pieces that I had pulled out as my weekly pieces last week that I didn't get to work on, so I'm going to keep these out. Maybe I can get some work on these. They're my lowest priority. If I can work on them, great, but if not, it's whatever. Is the first one up is Christmas Rules by Primrose Cottage Stitches by Lindsay Waite. And that is, this is my starting point with it. Gracie, what the fuck are you doing? Cat. That's my starting point with it. And then that was my non-full coverage for the week. My full coverage for the week is, I'm just gonna find it on Pattern Keeper because that printout is terrible. My full coverage that I had pulled for the week is Peaceful Jaguar by the Cross Stitch Studio. I gotta find it. Hang on. Here it is. And this is a crop, so it's 325 by 325. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And that's my starting point. So if I get to work on this week, I will probably work on, because this is page 1. I think I will probably try to work on completing page 1. That's probably what I'll do. Am I going to convert it into a diagonal? I might do that. Or maybe what I could do, since it's on gridded fabric and it's full cross, maybe what I'll do is I'll convert it to a diagonal. But what I might do is I might count over, like I've done on a couple pieces. I think I might count over and start doing a diagonal from this side. Or, oh no, I'll do it the other way. I'll count down to the bottom and I'll do this diagonal going this way. I'll do like maybe one diagonal here. I might get the corners. So what I want to do is I want to kind of go in a circle like this. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Ooh, now I want to work on it. So ideally what will happen is some of my full coverage pieces that are in full cross, one of my subscribers has suggested they thought it would be really neat to see the diagonals all coming in from the corners. So this corner up here is where I started, right? That page right there. So what I'll probably do is I'll count down to this corner. I'll do 1 diagonal's worth, and then I'll count over to this corner, do 1 diagonal's worth. So it's going to be like maybe a couple hundred and change stitch wise. And then I'll go up to this corner and do this diagonals, like 1 diagonal worth. And then if I get all 4 of those done and I'm still going to work on it more, I'll come back over to this corner and I'll look and see how many stitches, because like I said, I'm just working on the page there. So I'll see what stitches need to be completed to finish that diagonal. And then I'll work on diagonal number 2 to finish that one real quick. And then I'll go back down, do diagonal number 2. And then as I work on it, it'll start coming in. That'll be fun. You'll probably see progress like coming along a lot faster on something like that, seeing it come in from the corners because it's a smaller piece as opposed to my really big pieces that I'm starting to do that on. And then the last one is my piece that is in my, I have, not counting my Monopoly starts, I have 5 pieces that are in my new start rotation. So I have 5 pieces that I'm working on that are technically new starts. Once I hit 3,000 stitches on them, then they will be put away and they will get replaced with another new start. So the one that I pulled last week is Come In for a Spell. This is from Shannon Wassiliff. She is Shannon Christine Designs. And I got this as a kit from Pain Free Crafts, but this is the one that I had pulled to start. And I was supposed to do a video on washing the fabric to get the grid lines out, because when I ordered this as a kit, I got both of these patterns, and then it came with 2 small pieces of fabric, all the thread, all the beads, and the specialty floss, the metallic. But it came with, the fabric that it came with in the kit was Easy Count Aida. So I need to wash this to get the grid lines out before I finish it, because all that's left in it is metallic thread and beading. So I'm not worried about doing because I've had a couple people ask if I could do demos on beading and stitching with metallic thread. I'm not worried so much about getting that done per se. You guys might have to listen to my kids. I'm gonna try to, if I can, I'm gonna try to maybe do a video this weekend. I figured since I'm just gonna be doing like blips here and there, I can get them to, because they play in their games with their friends and so they're kind of loud. But I think I can get them to be quiet for short blips, enough for me to be like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do next. Trying to wash this, the grid lines out of this fabric. We'll see how that goes. But I will wash this before I work on it. So if I really can't get the video done, then I'll just hold on to this for another week, because what's left is on the jars, the tops and the bottoms on the jars, and then like inside, yeah, inside the jars there's like some metallic stitching, and then this part here is metallic stitching. You know what, maybe I didn't finish the cross stitching. Oh no, those are beads. The green on the ends here, those are beads. And then these stars are metallic, and then there's green beads scattered all around here, and then up in this corner is a spider web, and then the spider's hanging down from the O in come in. It's hanging down from the O, and because this is on white fabric, I'm like, well, you're not going to see the spider web because it'll be white on white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in the metallic that I have, which is a gold one. But then Stuart, oh, who has a Flosstube now, Stuart from Stuart's, Stuart, what's your channel? Is it Stuart's In Stitches? He suggested doing one strand of the gold metallic and one strand of glow in the dark thread to see if it will, part of it will glow, the spider web will glow in the dark. So that would be fun. So I might do that. Okay, I think that's everything I have to say. A lot of stuff to work on. So we'll see how much of it I can get done. I'm going to do yet another plans video, but you guys love watching them, so it's okay. I'm adjusting my Monopoly game for next year, so we're going to start a brand new Monopoly game in January. I will go over all the plans in a video in December, kind of finalizing my 2025 plans, because I'm still kind of noodling on a couple things. But I'm going to kind of tweak my Monopoly game a little bit. And I'm also going to be tweaking my temperature stitching a little bit. And I'm going to keep the Whip of Shame. I'm going to keep the bake-off stitching. I've had a couple people ask, what are you going to do once the season's over? I'm going to do the same concept, but I'm going to go to older seasons, because I watch on Netflix. So I will go back to starting with collection 5. I think that was from 2017. I've watched almost all the seasons a few times, so I kind of know who wins. So what I will probably do for seasons I've already watched is I'm going to just write the players down, and then I'm going to go down the list and random, like kind of do like a dice roll or a wheel spin or something to assign, because that's what I did for this season too. I had the numbers and I was like, okay, 100, I had them numbered, I had the contestants numbered, and I was like, all right, 100 stitches is it going to go to, and I had like a dice roll app on my phone. And so I have a D12 dice on it, and I would roll the dice, and if it landed on 6, then whoever was in the 6th slot got 100 stitches. So I think what I will probably do is I will do that again, and I might adjust the stitch counts a little bit, because as y'all saw, week 2, I needed to put 3,500 stitches in on Honeymoon Sunset, and I got it done in a week because I was actually off of work that week. And then week 3, I had to do 3,100 stitches, and that took me 2 weeks. So I may either adjust their stitch counts, or I might assign handshake stitches specifically and randomize who gets what, like maybe even and odd. If they're even and they get a handshake, it's this many. If they're odd and they get a handshake, it's this many. I'm not really sure yet. I'm still thinking about that. I was also thinking about having a full coverage, because ideally by the end of the year, right now I almost said 4 focus pieces. The Hate Sal is, so I originally had 4 focus pieces. The Hate Sal Yippee-Ki-Yay, Honeymoon Sunset, and my Whip of Shame, which changes every month. The Hate Sal is done. Whip of Shame is staying. Honeymoon Sunset is staying. Ideally, Yippee-Ki-Yay will be done by the end of the year. That was very strange how I just did that. So that would just put me down to Honeymoon Sunset, which is actually what I'm using as my bake-off stitching, as my main piece for my bake-off stitching. And then I'll have my Whip of Shame. So I was kind of thinking of having a full coverage focus piece every month where I keep a full coverage piece out to work on. I don't know if I would try to get a certain amount of stitches on it in a month, or if I would just try to get a certain amount of stitches on it with no deadline. And once it's done, then I would replace it with something else. So it could take me a month, it could take me 2 months, I could get it done in like, 5 weeks. I don't know. So I'm still kind of thinking on that because I have a lot of full coverage pieces. They all need love. And what I don't want to happen is I don't want to get Honeymoon Sunset to 50% and then I have, 60 full coverage pieces that are at like 0.5% or 1%. Like almost all, I have a lot of full coverages that are less than 5%. So I might try to do a full coverage focus where I do a set amount of stitches. I just keep it out so I can try to work on it. I'm not entirely sure yet. And then I'm gonna have stitch goals for everything. Because I have a lot of projects and I have a lot of stuff. Y'all saw, if y'all watched my birthday haul, you saw a lot of stuff that I want to start too. I still have new starts in my closet I haven't started on that I was putting together last year. So I'm trying to find a good balance, but I know some things are going to have to get set aside until other stuff gets worked on and finished. So I'll try to hash it all out and figure it all out so that maybe in the beginning, like in the first half of December, I can post a plans video for 2025, but we know that's going to change next year. I can't stick to anything. And then I'll have a whip parade at the end of December. One more thing, if y'all are still here, thanks for continuing to watch. But I just realized something. Hold on. Oh no, okay, never mind. I was thinking, I don't know why. I was thinking next week was Thanksgiving, but I get my kids back up tomorrow. The week of Thanksgiving, I'm going to have to do an early video because I will have my kids on Thanksgiving this year. And they're going to just stay with me because because Thanksgiving in the US is the 4th Thursday of the month. And this is my year to have Thanksgiving with them. So they're with their dad that week. And so I'll get them on Thanksgiving Day, but then they come back to me that Friday anyway. So I'm just going to end up keeping them. Unless their dad really wants them that night for some reason. If he really wants them, he can have them back. But I will plan on the week of Thanksgiving, I will plan on doing a Flosstube that Wednesday. So we'll see how that all goes. So just quick recap of what I plan on doing. So next week will be Friday as usual. The following week will be Wednesday, the 27th, that I will do a Flosstube. And then December rolls around and the first 3 weeks will be normal. Let's see. Pick up kids, 29th. Pick up kids. So the day after Christmas will be my final Flosstube of the year. So I will probably start my new plans the day after Christmas. I did that last year too, because I will have my kids on New Year's Day and I don't want to start the plans on the 3rd of January. So I will start my new plans the day after Christmas, I will film my whip parade, because I will get my kids back on the 27th of December. So I'm going to film my whip parade probably the first couple, probably the second and third week of December, and I will post it around Christmas time. I think last year I posted it on Christmas Day. But I will probably post my whip parade around Christmas time, and then we will kick off the day after Christmas, Boxing Day, with the new plans. So exciting times in the next few weeks, next month and a half. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. If you liked what you had to see and you're not already subscribed, I don't know why you would watch this entire video and not subscribe already. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. And I think that's about it. So, leave a comment in the comment section voting on your whip of shame choice for next month. So take care, happy stitching, get a lot of stitches in, and I hope I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.